Welcome to EDC Journeys. If you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up and consider subscribing. Enjoy! What's going on, EDC people, and what's our journey this time? I've been thinking about the series that I talked about yesterday on YouTube all day, all night, as much as I possibly could. And I've come up with some problems with the way that I've laid it out. Problems that we're going to have to address. I'm just laying some stuff out for you guys to look at here. It's a little bit difficult. Let me pan down just a touch. The problem is, if I don't want to go scientific with things like edge retention and toughness and corrosion resistance, then how am I gonna exactly line up, explain the difference between one steel to the other if I don't have any quantifiable thing to show you or tell you? So I think we're going to adjust the series. And let me know what you think about this. Let me know if you like this, if you don't like this, if you think it's a better idea, or if you have a better idea altogether. I want to do something in this field though. This is, I'm in the ballpark, but I think I just have to refine the series once again. When I first came out with it, it was way too big. Then I tried to bring it down a little bit yesterday, and I don't think I did a good job bringing it down enough. I think I simply made it more complicated by not having a way of describing, how I can compare edge retentions, say from 440C, such as the steel I'm going to start with, to 8CR13 MOV. I can't just say, it got dull, because, well, how long did it take to get dull, and what did I use? And there's channels that do that, like I keep saying. So I'm going to basically, they don't know this yet, but I'm going to partner with them. The scientific part of it, if you want to see how much 440C can cut compared to 8CR, Outpost 76 has a chart with basically years of documented variable less information, okay? And I can't come close to that. So what can I do though? What can I do to help the beginner learn about steel that isn't like that? Well, it dawned on me. Yeah, so I thought to myself, why don't I simplify this not only for me but for the viewer? Here's what I'm going to do. Here's the specific knife that we're talking about still. I'm still going to start with 440C, and it's still going to be this knife. This knife is in 440C. Okay? But what we're going to talk about, and as I mentioned, it's less to do with this half of the knife, more to do with this half of the knife. I will talk about the ergos and the materials of the handle and so on, the lock. I'm sure I'll mention all that. But that's more of a review. When I review this knife, I go over it from heel to toe. Right now, to not get scientific and to partner up with people like Outpost 76 who have already done the edge retention testing and toughness testing, okay, and Love Them Knives who already tests Rockwell and things like that. There's no point in me trying to do anything different than them. I can gather the information that they have on this steel and relay it to you while I do the video. But there's no point in me trying to match that. It's already done, and it's done scientifically. So I can tell you that information for a fact. But what we're going to talk about is the blade. We'll choose this steel, 440C. We're going to talk about this blade steel, this blade shape, this blade's geometry, this blade's budget, the price. 440C, is it a good priced knife for what it can do? And the sharpening. I'm going to dull the knife. I'll dull it very simply on a brick. 10 swipes on a brick and this thing will not be cutting. And then I'm going to sharpen it. And I'm going to try to sharpen most of them on camera. I'll probably have to highly edit it because we all know I take a while to sharpen. But I'm going to show you how quickly 440C can get sharpened back, or how quickly Maximate, or not quickly, Maximate can get sharpened back, for example, when we get to that steel. Does that make a little more sense? I'm trying to refine the series, okay? So I've made some announcements on the series. The series exists and it's happening. But I've got to make it more realistic for both you and I. Does that make any sense? I hope so. Let me know down in the comments what you think about all that. So essentially, let's say this was episode 1, 440C. We are going to talk briefly, okay, ergos on the handle, G10, the G-lock from Ganzo. Okay, great, steel liners. But I'm going to end it there with that half. The review will tell you far more. Now we're going to talk about the 440C. It dulls pretty fast. Obviously, I'm going to do it on a brick, so I don't think there's going to be much difference between any steel dulling it on a brick. But we're going to talk about how easy it is to sharpen back, and you're going to see it happen. We're going to talk about the blade shape, and we can talk about any of the blade, any of the 440Cs that I have with me. We can talk about those blade shapes and what they're designed for, because there are blade shapes designed for specific tasks. They're not all, there are some that are a jack of all trade, master of none, but there are some that are specific to what they were designed for. Okay, and I'm just going to show you some examples of shapes that have specific tasks. And that's not to say that you can't do other things with them. Of course you can, but they originally, anyways, had a specific task. Does this make more sense? Basically, it's going to be more about price for the blade steel, the blade geometry on the blade steel, the blade shape, and sharpening. And the sharpening is really what I'm going to focus on. I'm not trying to become a sharpening channel. I'm not a sharpening teacher or pro, which makes it what's important. I want the average person to realize, is 440C right for me? And by watching the episode 1, 440C, the 440C, the Phantom 440C, or whatever I want to name it, episode 1, you're going to learn, is it a good price for this steel? I'll pull the information from the collective scientific information that they have out there on the retention and corrosion resistance and toughness. And then I'm going to tell you about the blade shape and design, and we're going to sharpen it and see how easy it is to sharpen back. And then you'll know, just off of that, if this knife is good enough for what you are going to do with it, or if it's not, and you need to wait for episode 2. And maybe episode 2 is 8CR13 MOV. I don't know yet. Don't quote me. Okay? And we talk about this blade shape and this price. Because 8CR can go from huge different price ranges, okay? As can 420, or 440 rather. All the way up from budget to mid-grade, as Blade HQ says, to high-end to premium steels. In no particular order, I might jump around. But I want to put the basic, everyday, common steels out there and test them in a sense that a layman can understand, so that they know what knife they're going to get. Here's what inspired this. I was with somebody in a store looking at a knife, and I said, what do you think about this one versus this one? And it's not these two, but let's just say it is. And he said, oh, I like this one a lot. And I said, yeah, but that's 8CR, and this is S35VN. And he goes, what the hell does that mean? That's what I'm trying to answer. In a way, and then more. Does that make sense, guys? My hand looks orange because the sun is beating right on it. I hope that this is kind of clarifying, zooming in even more on what I'm going to try to do. As we get into the episodes, it'll get easier and easier to understand, I guess. I'm sorry I've made it complicated and had to redesign it a little bit, but hopefully this makes sense. Today, not right the second, because I'm not done with it yet, not ready to, I'm going to do 440C. And this is the guinea pig for 440C, the one that I've chosen out of the 440Cs I have, which I have many, that I'm going to dull and sharpen. I'm going to take all kinds of research on the blade shape, and I'm going to present it to you in a way that you understand. Okay? Simple as that. And then we can talk about why I don't have to resharpen this. It's 440C as well. So after the sharpening part of it, when I say blade geometry and blade shape, I can take all my 440Cs, okay? And yes, these particular ones are 440C, and I can tell you, you realize 440C, that's good for you. That's good. It's tough enough. It has good enough retention. Corrosion's fine. It sharpens like a dream because I just watched it happen. And now I realize that this shape is the one I want, or this shape, or this shape. Okay? I'm trying to make this easier for everyone. I'm talking too much and making it overcomplicated again. I'm going to end it now while I'm ahead. That's what's happening. Reintroduction is what this is, under 10 minutes. Hey, thanks for watching my video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you want more content like this, consider subscribing and hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything. Have a great day.